Good morning, everybody. We have been extra blessed this morning on our way out from the Conscious Life Expo to be able to touch bases with, quite frankly, one of the most extraordinary women at the Expo. In case you have been sleeping under a rock for the last 10 to 15 years, this is the Gail Thackray, who is so fabulous and very, very talented, and also one of us light workers getting out there, unleashing your empowerment for you, letting you know who you are, what your journey is all about, and possibly extraordinary ways to create even further journeys for yourself. Gail, thank you for being with us this morning.
Oh, Casey, thank you so much for a wonderful introduction.
Yeah. Can you tell everybody who may not be following Gail thus yet, who are you and what do you do in this life?
Okay, so I didn't always believe or have an involvement in the psychic industry. I mean, I think when I was young, I did have things, but I just didn't realize it.
You'd have to, right?
Yeah.
You'd have to, right.
And I actually had a completely different business, and I had a very, very powerful spiritual awakening at 40.
Nice.
And it was, for me, it was kind of like night and day. All of a sudden it was like this door opened up and I was actually able to speak with spirits on the other side.
Nice.
I'd actually gone to something like the Conscious Life.
Yeah.
There was a lady there who was really great, and I was hoping, oh, pick me, I'm hoping I'll get, reading or something. Right. I didn't, and she was doing a workshop, and I thought, no, I'll go there, see if we get read. Dragged my mom along, and then there's a sign over the door, how to become a medium, and I thought, well, I'm not going to do any of that, but it'll be fun, right?
Actually, it was a sign over your door, I am a medium, exactly. I'm a medium, right? But go ahead.
And they had us do a little exercise and get up and see if we could connect spirit, and I'm like, I'm not getting it. I'm doing this wrong, but I'll just have a guess. And mine's for this guy over here. It's his Grand-Pierre Marseille. He's French, and he had a scaffolding company. His dad took him, and then he was supposed to take it, but he became a pilot and started rambling on. And the guy's like, "Oh my God, that's his name. That's what he did. I am a pilot." And so he's totally freaked out. I'm totally freaked out because I have no idea how I've done it. And I said, it was just coincidence. I just made it up, so it was just a lucky guess.
That's right. You're just a lucky guess.
And then they started coming, and they were coming all night long. And then I came back the next day. I'm like, okay, this is really cool and everything, but how do we switch this off? Because it is insane.
Right.
And I had this business, and I'm married. And I came home and told my husband I'm talking to dead people.
Yeah.
And of course he thought I'd lost my mind, which I had.
Yeah.
And then I had to actually learn how to pull that back and become normal. Semi-normal, but
normal.
Yeah. to be able to switch it on and off and to do that. But that really changed my life. And then I said, I want to experience this, I want to see more of this, and I started actually going on spiritual journeys, traveling, and just really seeking for myself. And then people said, well, why don't you talk about your experiences? Yeah. And I ended up speaking and writing books, and I loved to share.
Yeah.
I went all over the world to crop circles, the Aboriginals in Australia. John O'Gorda did a lot of work with in Brazil. Different energy points, and also my experiences. I wrote a bunch of books. My first book I wrote, well, I didn't really write it, I cheated. Spirit actually downloaded it. So it just kind of appeared. And that was my 30 Days to Prosperity, which is how to create abundance. And it's a program. And I have people do that, and they come and they say, I didn't even believe in it, I just did it, and I got this surprise check, I got this job. And so, I love my work. It's been very empowering, and been going through this journey, but I never told anybody what I did in the past. I just at 40 changed, gone on this path, and never really said what I'd done. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, what I had done was I had a very successful adult business.
Okay.
I actually had a photo stock library, and I sold photos to magazines like Penthouse, High Society.
Okay.
And I owned the rights to those photos. And when the internet came out, I had this massive library of photos.
Nice.
And the days were insane.
There you go.
It was sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and crazy internet.
Yeah.
And so I have been doing that. And previous to that, I'd been a mainstream actress, but a lot of cheesy movies like HBO, a lot of Roger Corman movies.
Hey, those nowadays though, the cult following to those types of movies, the pure, that we call it kind of the pure essence of the fun and the silliness and kind of some of the preposterity of what you're doing is fabulous. You know, like you said, you think of them at the time, everything was always kind of geared towards comparison of whatever's considered refined and a little trashy or whatever, and everybody loves the authentic stuff now. So it's funny that it may come back around, and I don't know if that's going to bite you at the end or not, but people will be like, we love those about you, right?
Well, Quentin Tarantino was once interviewed, asked what was his very favorite movie in the world, and he said a movie called Cell Block Sisters, starring me. So that was kind of fun. So I was always the girl in the, you know, the lingerie and the machine gun and the crazy fun stuff. It was fun times in Hollywood. But I never, you know, I became a spiritual leader, and I never shared. If somebody asked, I would. But, you know, I started telling people that they need to love all sides of themselves.
Absolutely.
That, you know, nobody's perfect. We all have these things that maybe we don't like. And I realized I'm kind of hiding that. Not because I was embarrassed that it was a bad thing I did. I don't think it was. It was a fun business, actually. But because I felt that I might be judged, or people wouldn't believe me, or they think I wasn't spiritual. So I was, in a way, not being authentic.
Right.
And so I actually this year decided to write a book about my whole past and bring that out.
Oh my God, that'll be so much fun to
It
read.
is a fun book, and it's supposed to be funny, you know.
Yeah.
And it is the 80s and 90s. It's, you know, it's about the being a Hollywood actress, the whole casting couch stuff that was going on back there, which was, you know, was just part of the business, and it was crazy, and I got hit on all the time. But,
of course.
You know, nothing that was horribly serious, but for sure it was there.
Yeah.
And, you know, I talk about working with, I was a Playboy bunny at the mansion for a while. I talk about, you know, Bob Guccione and Penthouse and Lifelint and, you know, and the days of the internet. But it's hilariously funny, I think. It's a real life. It's not supposed to be dishing out the dirt.
Well, no, what I feel, you know, in sitting in your presence, and for everybody, this is the first time that Gail and I have had the opportunity to actually kind of meet, which is lovely. I think it adds to your total authenticity and willing to be transparent to everybody. This is what everybody wants. They love the celebrity status, meaning we love the success of people. It inspires all of us to be successful and to go for our dreams and to never hold back. But we also are hoping that there are the authentic, transparent people, because that's the spiritual aspect of your beingness. And to be able to have it, that's having it all, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I was really nicely surprised that a lot of my spiritual community came out and they said, we love what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they love the book, but it's not about that. It's about they love the fact that I was, okay, here I am, this is what I did. And encouraging other people to say, look, you may be hiding parts of yourself. You may not think things are good or perfect, but nobody's perfect. Right. You know, and to love all parts of ourselves. And a lot of women especially have come out and said this is empowering to us. And we love it. And, you know, I started a podcast called Finding Your Sexiness.
Nice.
Right. And it's not really about sex at all, but, you know, I used to think I knew what sexiness was when I was in that business. But it's not at all. I mean, sexiness is the inside out.
That's right.
The passion.
It's the mojo.
It's, you know, living vitality, you know, success, like being on your life purpose and loving what you do. And that is way more sexy than like the way you dress or, you know, the way you act. You know, we're talking about like really empowering people to live their authentic life, to love every part of them, and to totally get on their soul purpose. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm creating.
Wow. Gail, please tell everybody, how do they find you and all the stuff. Before we do, we're going to, of course, continue this conversation with Gail. We'll further expand on it. We'll let you in on the coffee party that we're going to be having with Gail, and so that you can love her more, if you already know who she is, and we know a lot of you do. And if you don't know thus far, you're definitely going to love her by the time of the next interview. But until then, please tell everybody how to find you.
Okay, so it's just my name, GailThackray.com.
Okay. Thanks, Gail, so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, everybody, this is Casey Wallace. Last transmission from the Conscious Life Expo. We want to thank all of you from the bottoms of our heart and our soul and our spirit for being with us through this weekend and continuing our journey here on Xpnsion Network. We hope everybody out there has an extraordinary day.